Good evening. Good evening. What's going on, folks? Welcome to another live edition of Carolina Panthers Talk brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the U to the Tube. I'm your host, Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram. Hope everybody's been having a good start to the week so far. It is August 9th, 2022. It's been kind of a slow week, but not too bad. But hope everybody's doing well, staying safe, staying productive, staying positive, all of the above. So tonight, I wanted to dive in to the first release depth chart of the Carolina Panthers, which I've put a link in the description. So definitely check that out. But yeah, let's dig into this. Let's dig into this first release depth chart for the Carolina Panthers, and we'll also, take a look at some other things that have been going on with training camp so far. Looks like things are really starting to get closer and closer to, giving us an idea who's going to be the guy for quarterback, as well as potentially the other positions as well. So let's take a look. Let's take a look at this. And if you check the link that I've shared at the bottom, is pretty much the link that'll take you to the whole full depth chart from the Carolina Panthers website. So definitely check that out. I'll be mainly using that as a guide. But let's take a dive into this. So starting with the offense, we're just gonna start right from the main starting position, which is quarterback. Of course, that's the main one that everybody has on their minds. So for the first, they got Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold listed as number ones, PJ Walker as the number two, Matt Corral as the number three. This is interesting. This is really interesting. And at the same time, there's word that Carolina Panthers are shopping quarterback Sam Darnold. But I mean, it doesn't seem like any team is going to bite on that. So I don't think there's going to be any sort of progress that happens with that. So, I mean, that's all I can really say about that. But given what I've been hearing lately with the training camps and the different drills, the 7-on-7s, the red zone drills, and just a lot of what Baker Mayfield's been doing, it's really looking like Baker Mayfield is going to be on par to win the starting quarterback position. It's like I said before, I feel like the writing is on the wall. And I think Ian Rappaport said it best. It's really his position to lose. It's really his position to lose. Hey, what's up, Jesse? Welcome to the stream. Saw your picture with Mizuki via Twitter. Awesome. Oh, are you on Twitter? Hold up. I haven't actually checked. Oh, dude. I didn't know you were on Twitter. Well, shoot. Let me give you a follow. Yeah, I just followed you. I didn't even know you were on Twitter. That's what's up. But yeah, appreciate the shout out. Yeah, I just gave you a follow. Yeah, appreciate that. Cool. I'll follow back. Thanks. Yeah, no problem. I appreciate it. But yeah, that was a fun show. I had a blast. Tons of fun. DPW, check it out. Totally worth it. But yeah, as I was saying, I agree with Ian Rappaport. I think there's a lot of evidence. KT, what's up? Welcome to the stream. I think the writing is on the wall that this will be Baker's job, the starting quarterback position. I mean, with them already, like, if this is true, with them supposedly been shopping Sam Darnold, I mean, that says something. So the thing that I'm really, really curious about is they got PJ Walker as the number 2 and Matt Corral as the number 3. That's pretty interesting. That's pretty interesting. But I don't know. How do y'all feel about that? PJ Walker listed as the number 2. KT says Baker clearly looking like QB number 1. Facts. That's definitely, like, with a lot of these highlights and a lot of the feedback and the updates, Baker Mayfield has been really spreading the ball out, going deep, being successful in the red zone. So I can't wait to see what he does out there on the field and just get an idea of really how many reps that he'll get with this upcoming preseason game this Saturday against the Commanders. But yeah, I really feel like, and maybe this is just the thing that Coach Matt Rule is just trying to, save face. I mean, after all, like, the word was that the starting quarterback position would be determined pretty much by the New England game or after the New England game. And for the longest time, it was a open competition. And I'm sure Matt Rule is sticking to that. But honestly, I think the writing is on the wall that Baker Mayfield will be the starter for Carolina. Like something really drastic would have to happen in order for Sam to get the nod, if you ask me. And that's not a hit on Sam Darnold, but I mean, if all the updates and everything are accurate, Baker Mayfield has been building chemistry and has been looking good. Does he perhaps have a ways to go? Sure. Because, I mean, we got to see if this can translate in the real game. Because, I mean, after all, last season, Sam Darnold did pretty good in training camp and all that. But then, when it came game time, those first 3 games, sure. But then afterwards, it just started to decline. So we'll have to see what happens. Yeah, for quarterback, they got both Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield at number 1, PJ Walker at number 2, Matt Corral at number 3. And with Matt Corral at number 3, I mean, I'm sure we're going to see a good amount of Matt Corral in the preseason in these 3 games. But unless somebody goes down, I don't think we'll see much Matt Corral in the regular season. And especially if PJ Walker ends up staying the number 2, then yeah, I don't think we're going to see any Matt Corral. Which like I said, that's fine. I mean, he's in learning mode. He's in learning mode. So the way I see it is, do what he got to do, learn, study. And in a season, hopefully he'll be ready. Running backs. So what they have at running backs right now, number 1, Christian McCaffrey. Number 2, they have both Deontay Foreman and Chuba Hubbard at the number 2. Spencer Brown at number 3, Darius Bradwell at number 4, John Lovett at number 5. Um, I'm in agreement with this. I mean, that makes sense. I mean, I definitely can see Deonta Foreman and Chuba Hubbard splitting carries, and I could see them both, definitely going in for Christian McCaffrey because I do not expect Christian McCaffrey to be an every down back. He doesn't need to be an every down back. When you got a trio like McCaffrey, Foreman, and Hubbard, Hubbard, who had a pretty decent rookie year, Foreman, who came in for Derrick Henry and played well, use all three of those. Rotate them if you have to. I don't expect Christian McCaffrey to be an every down back, and he better not be an every down back. I know he's been looking good in training camp so far. That's good. He looks to be healthy so far, but we should definitely spread out the touches, especially when you have a trio of backs like that. KT says CMC should have maybe 40% of the reps. 40% or just, a even spread between those three because, I think it's safe to say those will be the main three running backs, but I think it should be a balance. Like one shouldn't have more than the other, but balance it out. 40%, let's see, 40, maybe 40, 30, 30, perhaps 40, 30, 30, but definitely they should spread it out. Yeah. So maybe 40, 30, 30. As far as the other running backs, I mean, we're gonna see them in the preseason. I mean, Spencer Brown, Darius Bradwell, John Lovett. I mean, I expect to see them get reps in the preseason, especially, maybe a lot more in the second and third games, as well as, maybe the first game in the later quarters. But I expect to see, I really want to see the running game really get a lot of reps, especially with these other backup running backs, because I know there's been emphasis on running the ball, and I really want to see us have a great run game. And I think with the core running backs that the team has, I think they have an opportunity to really be successful. I mean, you got a lot of things you can do with Christian McCaffrey out the backfield, out of the slot, but let's not forget about what Chuba Hubbard and Deonta Foreman can do. So my big hope is that we really see a good balance in the run game using all three of those running backs. That's my hope. So with McCaffrey being the number one and Foreman and Hubbard being the number twos, I think that makes sense. I think that definitely makes sense. Okay, wide receivers. Okay, so this is going to be interesting. So they got the left side and the right side. So the left side, DJ Moore, number one. Rashard Higgins, number two. Brandon Zylstra, number three. Kirkwood, number four. Andre Roberts, number five. Rashawn Henry, number six. And then on the right side, Robbie Anderson, number one. Terrace Marshall Jr., number two. Shi Smith, number three. CJ Saunders, number four. Derek Wright, number five. Charleston Rambo, number six. Okay. So we know for sure DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson will be the 1 and 2. We know that for sure. That's no question, personally. Been hearing some interesting stories about the battle between Terrace Marshall Jr. and Rashard Higgins for that number 3 spot. And I don't know. That could go either way. That could really go either way. I mean, and then even looking at the third, Shi Smith, Brandon Zylstra. I mean, Shi Smith has been getting a lot of reps. CJ Saunders, word what CJ Saunders is, he's been catching everything thrown at him. and actually been taking a lot of reps. So we could see a lot of CJ Saunders. You know, he could be the next Brinston Burson. I mean, word is he's catching everything thrown to him. Good. That's really good. So the only thing I can say with the wide receivers, we know we got DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson, you know, the 1 and the 2. You know, Terrace Marshall Jr. and Rashard Higgins, that's going to be a very interesting battle, especially with them playing at the slot. And both have been making plays. But I think if you ask me personally, being that Terrace Marshall Jr. was drafted last year, I think there's got to be a little more emphasis on getting him reps. Oh, as a matter of fact, KT said it best. Terrace Marshall Jr. got to get reps this year. Yeah, I agree. We got to really see what he can do. We got to really see if that draft pick was worth it. So, and it's no, you know, shots at Rashard Higgins. I mean, we know he's a veteran. We know he's been able to make plays. But I think we really got to put a little more emphasis on Terrace Marshall Jr. And also, when you think about it, Shi Smith as well. Because Shi Smith really hasn't had that opportunity to break out. Like I said, I know the whole legal issues thing is, I guess, still pending. I don't know if anybody has an update on that. But Shi Smith is another one that could use some looks to see if he can break out. We've only seen flashes, only a few flashes of Shi Smith and Terrace Marshall Jr. last season. So hopefully, if these two can really get reps and break out, then I think you have a solid 4 in Moore, Anderson, Smith, and Marshall. And you can also, and honestly, a solid 5, Rashard Higgins. That's a solid 5. You could work with that. So hopefully Terrace Marshall Jr., Shi Smith can really get some good reps in, especially in the preseason. This will be a great time for them to really get some serious reps in. CJ Saunders, like I said, CJ Saunders could be the sleeper. He could be the sleeper because he's been catching everything thrown his way. So there's that. Brandon Zylstra. I know he's known for being a special teams guy, but the times that they've called on his number in the offense, he's delivered. He's got the hands. He's got some decent speed. Don't sleep on Brandon Zylstra. His number may not have gotten called a lot in the offense, but the few times that he's been called on, he's made the play. So we can't take these for granted. Keith Kirkwood, I know in the past he's had, you know, health issues, you know, just staying healthy and whatnot. So, I mean, I don't know if Keith Kirkwood will make the roster personally, but I mean, we'll see. And Andre Roberts, I expect Andre Roberts to be pretty much the main special teams punt returner, kickoff return guy. So there's that. And then, you know, Derek Wright, Charleston Rambo, Rashawn Henry. I mean, I don't know if they'll end up making a spot, but we'll see. But if anything, I'm really going to be keeping my eyes on Shi Smith and Terrace Marshall Jr. The most out of this group. You know, CJ Saunders as well. Brandon Zylstra. But the two main ones I'm going to keep my eye on are Terrace Marshall Jr. and Shi Smith. So we'll see what happens with that. Tight ends. Let's take a look at tight ends. So right side and left side. Right side, Ian Thomas at the number 1, Colin Thompson at the number 2, Jarrett Scott at the number 3. On the left side, number 1, Tommy Tremble, number 2, Stephen Sullivan, number 3, Giovanni Ricci, number 4, Josh Babbitts. Now, Ricci was mentioned, which they did work that spot as well. I know there was like 1 or 2 highlights or so of him catching passes, but at the same time, he's also probably still going to maintain his main role of fullback in this offense, or at least that's what I'm assuming. But, you know, the double tight end sets, Tommy Tremble, Ian Thomas, definitely makes sense. Stephen Sullivan, Colin Thompson, I mean, who've played on this team before. I mean, Colin Thompson has made a few catches, even including a PJ Walker touchdown. But, I mean, if anything, a lot is going to really be focused on Trumbull and Thomas, TNT, Trumbull and Thomas. And being that Ben McAdoo likes to use the tight ends and do double tight end sets, you know, I think there's definitely potential with Tommy Trumbull. He's shown some flashes. And even Ian Thomas has as well. I just feel like Ian Thomas still needs more opportunities. Like, I can't say that he's really had a lot of opportunities to really show that he can be a premier tight end or grow into a premier tight end. I have a lot of hope for Tommy Trumbull. I definitely have a lot of hope for Tommy Trumbull. I really like Tommy Trumbull. But TNT, I'm hoping this tight end set can really do some damage in the blocking game and in the passing game. But, you know, Stephen Sullivan, Colin Thompson, I'm sure we're going to see a good bit of them. Giovanni Ricci as well. Jarrett Scott, don't really know that much about. Josh Babbitts, don't really know that much about. But I don't expect the list of tight ends to be that big. I mean, probably of the 53-man rosters, they're probably going to keep 3. And it's probably going to come down between Stephen Sullivan and Colin Thompson. I could be wrong, but that's just my take on that. Okay. This is where it's going to get interesting, ladies and gentlemen. The offensive line. So starting with right tackle. Right tackle doesn't seem to be too surprising. Right tackle. Number 1, Taylor Moton. Number 2, Cameron Irving. Number 3, Austin Pleasance. I mean, yeah. I can't really say that you know, anything out of the ordinary. I mean, Taylor Moton, of course, you know, that's his spot. Cameron Irving as a backup, I mean, I don't know. Maybe right side would be better for him, perhaps. But I mean, it is veteran, and I don't see him still being there after the season. But I mean, Taylor Moton at the number 1, Cameron Irving at the number 2. Yeah, makes sense. Sure. Yeah, I can't really disagree with that. I don't know. What do y'all think? But I can't disagree with that. I can't say I disagree with that. Right guard. So right guard, I would say the same. Right guard, number 1, Austin Corbett. Number 2, Mike Horton. Number 3, Cade Mays. Cade Mays, one of our draft picks. You know, hopefully I would like to see him get some good reps. I would like to see him get some good reps in the preseason. Can break out. Hey, Joe Valesco, what's up? Have you heard about Soquan Smith. Oh, you mean Roquan Smith? Yes. Yes, I did hear about that. Request a trade from the Chicago Bears, but I mean, I don't know how. I mean, I don't know how we're gonna get him. I don't know. Like, I know a lot of folks on social media were talking about that, but I don't know how we would be able to get him. I mean, we'd have to give something up. We'd have to give something up to get him. So I don't really know. KT says Icky needs to start. I don't get why he isn't. Which is a good question, and too. We'll get to that. We're but we'll get to that. But hold on to that thought. But yeah, Austin Corbett, the number one, Mike Horton, number two, Cade Mays. I hope to see him get more reps, hopefully in preseason. Coaching too indecisive. That is a good point. That is a good point. And actually, it's not just only at left tackle, but heading over to the center position, they got Pat Elflein and Bradley Bozeman as the number ones for starting center. And Sam Tecklenburg as Joe Valesco says, what would you give up for him? Honestly, I don't know. I really don't know if we can afford to really give up anything right now to get him, Joe Valesco. I mean, free agent is one thing, but I don't even know if we, should really give up anything crucial for him. Like, I don't know if we're in a position to give up anything crucial for this Roquan Smith. Um, let me pause for a second and look at this Roquan Smith. 25 years old, young guy, first round pick 8, Chicago. Last season, 95 tackles, 95 solo tackles, 68 assists, 3 sacks, and an interception. It's a tackling machine, that's for sure. I give him that. He's a tackling machine. KT says he's overrated. Well, had a decent rookie year. 89 tackles, 33 assists, 5 sacks, and an interception. I mean, he's gotten an interception in each season so far. 2 interceptions in 2020. He's a tackling machine. I mean, I'll say that. I mean, I don't know if I'd go as far as to say he's a star player. Second team All Pro twice. I mean, 5 interceptions, 14 total sacks. I mean, decent. I'd say decent. KT says his coverage is really bad. We already got Damian Wilson anyway. Well, what about Damian Wilson's legal situation, though? What about his legal situation? Like, is that still a thing, or is that cleared up? Because if that's still a thing, he's not quite in the clear yet. But yeah, I mean, I can't say that this guy is bad. or really great. But I mean, he can do a little something something. This Roquan Smith, he can do a little something something. Might not be Pro Bowl material or anything like that, but I mean, it seems like he can do a little something something. If anything, he's a tackling machine. True, I forgot about that. Yeah, see that, that's still a major concern for me about Damian Wilson. But just would cost too much, in my opinion. And you're probably right, KT. You're probably right. In all honesty, you're probably right. Anyway, back to the center position. So Pat Elflein and Bradley Bozeman both listed as the number 1, Sam Tecklenburg as the number 2. This is interesting. So don't get me wrong. I know Pat Elflein does a better job at center than he does at guard, but y'all brought in Bradley Bozeman for a reason. And I would think, unless he's hurt, why starting center? Well, how do y'all feel about that? I mean, I know he's on a 1-year contract, but like, I don't know. And like I said, not to throw too much shade on Pat Elflein, because he did do pretty well at center. KT says Bozeman got to be the number 1. I mean, that's what I figured, but they got both of them listed as the number 1. So I don't think they have it set in stone yet, which is very interesting. Very interesting. So yeah. Because they both have taken turns having one's reps. So yeah, I mean, I hope you're right, but at the same time, chemistry also is very important. So, and if they seem to have it more built with Pat Elflein at the center more than Bradley Bozeman, then I mean, but if that's the case, I don't know. Just kind of seems like a waste of acquisition if they're not putting him as the starter. But we'll see. Okay. Left guard. Okay. Now this is where it gets really weird. So at left guard, they have Michael Jordan at the number 1, Dennis Daly at the number 2, and Deontay Brown at the number 3. Whew. So now I hear that they've been kind of mixing up Brady Christensen, Ikem Ekwonu, Michael Jordan at that left guard spot. But really, they got Michael Jordan listed as the number 1? Really? Really? And the thing with Dennis Daly, well, I mean, Dennis Daly would probably be, okay as a backup. And Deontay Brown, where it is with Deontay Brown, like he's got to work on getting his weight down. I think there's potential with Deontay Brown, but he's got to maintain a good weight, a good size. So, yeah. And then at left tackle, Brady Christensen at number 1, Ikem Ekwonu at number 2, Wyatt Miller, number 3. Now, I know this is the first release depth chart, but if they have Ikem Ekwonu at the number 2 left tackle spot, Brady Christensen at the number 1, no shade towards Brady Christensen, but that makes me think that they don't feel confident that Ekwonu is ready to be the starting left tackle. KT says Brady at left tackle. That's what I was originally thinking would be the final resort. And the word that I'm hearing is that Icky is doing great in the run blocking, but word is supposedly he's struggling in the pass blocking. I don't know how accurate that is, but if the pass blocking is a struggle, then left guard would probably be better for him as of right now. Because we have to remember Brady Christensen, although the few games that he did play last season at left tackle, he did do pretty good. So, I mean, I know we have our ideas of what the offensive line should look like, but at the end of the day, I think collectively we want the best that's out there. And something tells me this offensive line isn't going to be 100% the offensive line that we thought it was going to be. That's the conclusion that I've come to. I think a lot of the thoughts of what we were thinking of what this starting offensive line is going to look like, it's probably not going to match exactly as we thought. So we might want to prepare for that. We might want to prepare for the potential that we could have a starting offensive line of Brady Christensen at left tackle, Michael Jordan at left guard, Pat Elflein at center, Austin Corbett at right guard, Taylor Moton at right tackle. It could happen. I'm not saying it's going to be that way, but hope for the best, be prepared for the worst. And not so much saying the worst, but be prepared for the unexpected. And I know the big argument is, well, Ikem Ekwonu was our first round draft pick. Why would we draft him first round if we didn't plan on putting him at starter or whatnot? Aubrey Smoke. I'm sorry. Please forgive me if I butchered your last name. Welcome to the stream. Carolina will have the number 1 pick in the next draft. You think so? So, in saying that, what record do you think they'll have to get themselves the number 1 pick in the next draft? Hey, what's up, Super Trebo? Hey, Jason, I'm just waiting until week 1 or 2. Don't care about preseason much because it don't mean nothing. Panthers started out 3-0 last year, Darnold, and look what happened. I don't care until week 1. If it didn't mean nothing, then they wouldn't have it, though, bro. If it didn't mean nothing, then they wouldn't have it. You have to also remember, it's also used to look at the folks that we have, the depth that we have on our team. That's still important. And reps are very important. Don't downplay the reps. I mean, when the win-loss doesn't matter, but don't downplay the reps. Don't downplay the reps. I mean, I understand, not many watch preseason, and that's fine. That's totally fine. The wins, losses don't count in preseason, but the reps do. That's how you see what your folks have out there. So I have to disagree with you, Super Trebo. That it does mean something because it means reps. Ikaim Hannon, welcome to the stream. If Sam goes 3-0, we going 6-0 with Baker. I'll be shocked if we go 6-0. I'll be very shocked if we go 6-0. That would be that'd be crazy. But yeah. But like I said with this offensive line, I have a feeling this offensive line, the starting offensive line, is not going to be 100% what we thought it was going to be. So just I'm still optimistic, but just be prepared in case once it comes down to the 53-man roster and they seal the starting lineup for the offensive line, if it doesn't match up to our expectations. I'm just saying, just be prepared because that could totally happen. Because it is clear, according to how things are going, it's clear that despite drafting Ikem Ekwonu first round, he does not have that starting left tackle position secured like many thought that he probably would have. He doesn't have that spot secured. So that's all I can really say about that. I mean, I know it's a bummer because it's like, why draft him if they're not going to throw him out there? Which, I mean, he's been getting reps with the ones and the twos, but I mean, at the same time, if Brady Christensen is going in there at left tackle and he's doing the do, don't fix what ain't broken, If Michael Jordan goes in at left guard and he's doing the do, don't fix what ain't broken. I mean, at the end of the day, I want the best out there. And the best out there might not be exactly the folks that we thought it would be. Unfortunately, we know who we like, we know who we don't like. But we have the best out there. That's going to give us the best chance to win games. That's what it comes down to. But okay. Let's move on to the defense. Okay. Let's look at those ends, those defensive ends. Left side, right side. Okay. Left side, we got number 1, Brian Burns. Number 2, Marquise Haynes Sr. Number 3, Amari Barno, one of our draft picks. Number 4, Drew Jordan. Number 5, Marquand McCall. And then on the right side, number 1, YGM, Yetur Gross-Matos. Number 2, Daryl Johnson. Number 3, Austin Larkin. And number 4, Jacob Tilodi Mariner. Ooh, man. We could really use another defensive end. Yeah. I think we could really use another premier defensive end. And I know Scott Fitterer had mentioned about it. So see, this would have been a good time to get Carlos Dunlap, but he's with the Chiefs now. Man, we could have gotten him. Because I don't even know if YGM is Yetur Gross-Matos. Is he even healthy? He's not even healthy yet, is he? I don't even think he's healthy yet. Super Trebo says it sucks because I have to work every Sunday, so won't get to see a lot of games live, but we'll still watch them with highlights and score updates. I have to work every Sunday, 10 to 7, unless I take off. Can you DVR? Do you have direct TV or cable or a box to DVR, Super Trebo? KT says Utor need to ball out. I agree. He does need to ball out, but is he healthy? He's kind of had an injury setback. Like, we've seen some flashes of YGM for sure. He's got the potential, but like, is he going to be going into this season healthy? Because I mean, him as a number one and Brian Burns as a number one. I mean, KT says he is right now. Okay. Well, I still think we could use another edge rusher. I really do feel like we could use another edge rusher. Ekaim Hannon says Roquan Smith wants out of the Bears. We should get him. That's the thing. He wants a trade. I don't necessarily think there's anything special we should give up to get him, to be honest with you, Ekaim Hannon. I don't know if it's a smart idea to give up anything crucial to go get him. Because, I mean, he's a tackling machine. But that's pretty much it. You know, he's got, an interception. He's got an interception every season he's played. He's got, a couple of sacks, but I really feel like I don't know if he'd be worth it. Joe Valesco says we can sign D Ford, but that's another situation. Is he even healthy? He hasn't had a full season in a number of years. I don't think I'd take a chance on him. He hasn't been able to stay healthy. Only played 6 games last season, only 1 game the season before that. I wouldn't take a chance on D Ford personally. Nah, I wouldn't take a chance on him. Shoot. I'd feel more comfortable. Well, I'd feel more comfortable maybe going after a Trey Flowers. I think a Trey Flowers. But I don't know. That's just me. Oh, and isn't there a Carl Nassib? I think. Yeah, what about Carl Nassib? Let me see. Shoot, I wouldn't mind thinking about a Carl Nassib. What do y'all think about a Carl Nassib? Super Trebo says, "Yep, I got Direct TV, but problem is I live in Augusta, Georgia, by South Carolina line, so they always televise Falcons games most weeks. But luckily, I'm moving back home to Carolina. To the Carolinas about 3 months. Conway. Gotcha. No, understandable. Understandable. And Anthony Barr got scooped up as well. He was another name that I was looking at for linebacker, but he got scooped up. So, there is Jason Pierre-Paul, but honestly, yeah. And I think Ryan Kerrigan announced his retirement. Yeah, he announced his retirement, so he's out. Yeah, he just retired. So, I was thinking personally, either Carl Nassib, Alex Okafor, maybe Everson Griffin, but yeah, that's gonna be a tough one. That's gonna be a tough one. But anyway, yeah. To go over again the defensive ends, like I said, left side, number 1, Brian Burns, number 2, Marquise Haynes Sr., number 3, Amari Barno, number 4, Drew Jordan, number 5, Marquand McCall. Right side, number 1, Yetur Gross-Matos, number 2, Daryl Johnson, number 3, Austin Larkin, number 4, Jacob Tilodi Mariner. Yeah, we could definitely use some help at defensive end / edge. What is Carl Nassib's PFF grade? You know what? Let's find out. Let's find out. Uh, 67. 67.0. For overall 67.0. Let's look at the yeah, KT solid. Yeah. Agreed. Like I said, I think he would definitely help. Yeah, we could work with that. Yeah, I agree. We definitely could. Let's look at the interior. So, defensive tackles. Left side, number 1, Derek Brown. Number 2, Davion Nixon. Number 3, Phil Hoskins. On the right side, number 1, Matt Ioannidis. Number 2, Bravion Roy. Number 3, Frank Heron. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. I'm a little concerned with the D-line. I don't know if we can really get consistent push from the D-line, y'all. Run stopping, possibly, but getting to the quarterback, I don't know, y'all. Because, I mean, we did well with a combo of Brian Burns and what's his face that we had last season, Hassan Reddick. Ioannidis and Burns are great pass rushers. I mean, yeah. I mean, Burns, Of course, I mean, he was a Pro Bowler. He just has a issue with over pursuing. And Ioannidis is a great interior, definitely a great interior. And Derek Brown, I mean, I know he can help clog up, but just is it enough? Is it really enough consistently? Because we got to factor in the rotational pieces as well. So I don't know. I'm a little nervous about our D line. I'm nervous about our D line. KT says, "Yeah, depth is an issue." Yeah, I'm nervous about our D line. Like, see, this is where I would love to get a Ndamukong Suh. I would love to get a Ndamukong Suh in this position. Like, I would love to score Ndamukong Suh. Or shoot, even Star Latulele. I wouldn't even mind bringing him back. So, I mean, shoot, those are two that I would consider. Yeah, Ndamukong Suh or Star Latulele. Ooh. Or maybe even Sheldon Richardson. Sheldon Richardson's also, I think he's also be a good pick. Sheldon Richardson. Oh, that would definitely help. But yeah, I don't know, y'all. I'm a little worried about our D line. I'm a little worried. I don't know about y'all, but I'm a little worried. I'm really hoping this can be a season Derek Brown really does some damage. And hopefully with Matt Ioannidis by his side, that can really help. They can help each other in that middle. Davion Nixon's been dealing with, health issues. So hopefully this can be a season where we can really see what he can bring. Bravion Roy, he's been there. Phil Hoskins, we got to see a little bit near the end of last season. Frank Caron, yeah. I think I want to say between now and week 1, I expect to see an upgrade at D-line. Whether it's a piece in the middle or an edge rusher, I expect to see an upgrade. I think that is very necessary. Between now and week 1, I think they need to do an upgrade on the D-line. At least one piece. Okay. Let's take a look at linebackers. Linebackers also kind of interesting. Okay, let's look at left side. Outside linebacker. Number 1, Shaq Thompson. Number 2, Corey Littleton. Number 3, Julian Stanford. Number 4, Kalen Tolson. Now, the whole idea with Shaq Thompson is, is probably going to be missing time, but should be good to go week 1 against the Browns. So, maybe perhaps we'll see, a good bit of Corey Littleton at that left outside linebacker spot during the preseason. But I don't think we'll be seeing much Shaq in this preseason. Right side, number 1 is Frankie Luvu. Number 2, Brandon Smith, one of our rookie draft picks. And number 3, Aaron Mosby. Frankie Louvu, I'm really hoping that Frankie Louvu can really continue to break out. He's shown some great ability and he can make plays, but I think we need to see more. I think it's just a matter of we need to see more from Frankie Louvu. Very capable, and he can make plays. I just think we need to see more from him. That's all. Overall, we just need to see more from him. Brandon Smith, hoping to see a good amount of Brandon Smith in the preseason. And who knows, maybe, in their defensive sets, get him into the rotation, see what he can do. But I expect to see a lot of him in the preseason. And then looking at middle linebacker. Okay, number 1, Damian Wilson. Number 2, Kamal Martin. Number 3, Isaiah Graham Mobley. That's fine, but my whole thing is looking at the whole legal situation with Damian Wilson, because that could lead to suspension. And if he's out, then that middle linebacker spot is wide open for other teams' offenses to feast on. So it's another area of concern, y'all. It's another area that I'm concerned about is the linebackers. I mean, we know what Shaq can do. We know what Frankie Louvu can do. Damian Wilson, not somebody that I've kept an eye on, but, he another vet with some legal issues. I mean, we got Brandon Smith. Hopefully he can evolve and learn and turn into something. But, I mean, we got to keep it real, y'all. Since Luke Kuechly left, we've gotten worse at linebacker. We've gotten real worse. I mean, Shaq and Frankie Louvu are really the only bright spots. But I mean, look at what happened with Tahir Whitehead. He was a bust on this team. Jermaine Carter. I mean, you could kind of say he was a bust on this team. We have not been the same at linebacker since losing Thomas Davis and Luke Kuechly. Whoo, man. It remains to be seen if we can really reestablish a strong linebacker core anytime soon, y'all. And that's just me being honest. So yeah, I'm a little worried. I'm a little worried. Okay, cornerbacks. Cornerbacks, I'm a little more optimistic. Just a little more optimistic. Okay, let's look at the left side. Left side, number 1, Dante Jackson. Number 2, C.J. Henderson. Number 3, Chris Westry. Number 4, Madre Harper. Number 5, Duke Dawson. Number 6, Devin Jones. All right, and then the right side, number 1, J.C. Horn. Number 2, Keith Taylor Jr. Number 3, Kalen Barnes, one of our rookie draft picks. Number 4, Stanley Thomas Oliver III. Number 5, Tay Hayes. Okay. Now, I know J.C. Horn, he's been dealing with the foot, the nagging foot. Been doing individual drills, but I mean, it's very important that we can get a healthy J.C. Horn for this sophomore season, because he's going to really be a big factor. Dante Jackson, we brought him back. C.J. Henderson, who's been having a good training camp, rolled his ankle once, but hopefully not too bad. but he's been having a good camp. Aubrey says, I don't expect much from the boys this season. Well, like I said, what's your record prediction? Just curious, what's your record prediction? But yeah, I know a lot of eyes are going to be on J.C. Horn. A lot of eyes are going to be on C.J. Henderson because this year for C.J. Henderson is pretty much a make it or break it year for him. He's gotta do the do, or else he's not going to be a Panther after this season. Keith Taylor Jr. has been dealing with injury, so don't know if he'll be healthy by week 1. Chris Westry is a depth piece. Kalen Barnes, our rookie draft pick. So, but like I said, I'm a little optimistic. I don't know how much action J.C. Horn will see in the preseason. That has me a little bit worried. But I'm hopeful, I'm optimistic that he'll be good to go by week 1. And I'm optimistic that C.J. Henderson will finally break out. You know, Dante's been showing up in training camp, been talking some smack, been firing up the competition. So, you know, this is good. This is good. But I think overall, we'll be all right at cornerback. I think we'll be all right. I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful. Safeties. All right. Free safety. Number 1, Jeremy Chin. Number 2, Sean Chandler. Number 3, Kenny Robinson. Makes sense. I can agree with that. I honestly, I don't think safety is really an issue. I really don't think safety is going to be an issue this year. I hope I'm not wrong, but I don't think safety will be an issue. I really don't. But Jeremy Chin gets the nod at free safety, which makes sense. Sean Chandler and Kenny Robinson, which I'm hoping, because Kenny Robinson's another one that's dealt with some health issues, but I'm hoping Kenny Robinson can get some good reps in the preseason and let's really see what we can get out of Kenny Robinson, because I think there's potential, but he just hasn't been healthy and we haven't really seen him get opportunities. So I'm going to keep my eye on Kenny Robinson. And then strong safety. Number 1, Xavier Woods, who we brought in. Number 2, Justin Burris. Number 3, Miles Hartsfield. Number 4, Sam Franklin Jr. Yeah, this also makes sense. I mean, Justin Burris, he's another veteran. I know he struggled some, with injury last season, but, he's another veteran. Miles Hartsfield, I expect to see him get some action, and somebody that can play cornerback and safety. I really wonder if we'll see him mixed around between safety and cornerback. I think it's very possible. But yeah, I'm not too concerned with the safeties. Not really too concerned. I think there's some good depth there at safety. And, a combo of Jeremy Chin, Xavier Woods, I think can definitely work. All right. And then we look at special teams. let's see. 1 second. Okay. Special teams. For kick returner and punt returner, it's the exact same. Number one, Andre Roberts. Number 2, Shi Smith. Number 3, CJ Saunders. Yeah. The same across the board for kick returner, punt returner. Makes sense. Aubrey says, I'll say 5-12, maybe 6-11. Wow. So you could see a third straight 5-win season, eh? Ooh. If we get a third straight 5-win season, then number 1, Matt Rule's got to go. And number 2, I really question Dave Tepper if he's a good fit at owner for us. I really question that because I'm sorry, but the way it looks, as rich as he is, seems like he's afraid to spend money. I don't know. I just feel like I'm under the impression that our owner is just afraid to spend money. But yeah, kick returner, punt returner, I would agree. Andre Roberts definitely was brought in to be the main guy. Aubrey says they should have brought my man Cam back. Yeah. At one point would have been nice, but honestly, I don't think Matt Rule would be too cool with that. It would be nice for him to have a full off season and actually, have a full training camp. So there's benefits with that, but I don't know. I think Cam's career might be over. Unfortunately. And after all, like he said, he was put into a very bad situation. And it sucks because it's really a messed up way for folks to really run him into the ground. Yeah, Aubrey, I agree. He didn't know that offense. I agree. Because at the same time, it's like I said many, many dozens and dozens of times. I don't see how anybody can expect somebody to come in middle of the season, not having played a single snap, and expect them to just click instantly. That is an unrealistic expectation. I mean, came in, played week 10, didn't start until week 11. Hadn't played on a team before then. Yeah, that is an unrealistic expectation to expect a quarterback, especially a quarterback, to come in to a team, not knowing the system, and expect instant success. That's not how that works. I don't care if it's Cam Newton, Tom Brady, Joe Montana. I don't care. That is an unrealistic expectation. Unrealistic expectation. So yeah, Aubrey, I agree. But I won't get too much into Cam Newton, but if it's the two things that really annoy me about Cam haters, and I'll just say this and then I'll move on. What really annoys me the most about typical Cam haters, two things. One, they look so much at last season, which, like I just made my point, came in week 10, didn't start until week 11, unrealistic expectation. And two, Folks are so quick to talk about how he didn't jump on a fumble, but nobody ever wants to talk about what led to the fumble in the first place. Nobody ever wants to talk about that. Those are the two things that I do not get about a lot of Cam haters. I mean, if you don't like the guy, that's fine. But to throw those two things out there, like, really? Really? That's the best you can do? Like, it makes no sense to me. Oh, he didn't jump on a fumble. Okay. Do you remember how the fumble happened? Do you remember the defense kept eating up that left side of the offensive line in the form of Von Miller? Because that wasn't the only strip sack that happened. There was a strip sack that also happened in the first quarter. Like, we got to look at the whole picture. Aubrey says a lot of folks are stuck on that. Yeah, and that's what annoys me so much about Cam haters. It's like the fumble. He didn't jump on the fumble. He didn't jump on the fumble. But nobody ever wants to talk about what led to the fumble in the first place. Maybe if the O-line did a better job at protecting him, especially Mr. Mike Remmers, maybe the fumbles wouldn't have happened in the first place. Cam haters out there, think. Moving on. Man. And another thing is so much of that hate towards the one and only MVP in Carolina Panthers franchise history. Yeah. Long snapper, J.J. Jansen. And what ended up happening? We released Thomas Fletcher, the long snapper that we drafted 2 years ago. Can somebody say wasted draft pick? But Von Miller was a beast in that game. Oh, facts. He ate up the O-line. Had his way with Mike Remmers. But yeah. We drafted a long snapper 2 seasons ago, and we just cut him. Never even got a chance to taste the field. Why the heck did we draft a long snapper? What were we thinking? Oh man. That's pitiful. That's pitiful. Shoot. Might as well just keep signing J.J. Jansen to 1-year deals. I mean, he pretty much, aside from the punter, pretty much has the simplest job as the long snapper. Which he's done well consistently in his career with Carolina. So, I mean, let me see. How old is J.J. Jansen? I'm curious. How old is J.J. Jansen? 36. Oh, he's only 36. Oh, shoot. He's good. Shoot. They might as well keep him until he's like 60. Yeah. Just keep on signing those 1-year deals. Shoot, he can keep playing. Don't draft another long snapper ever again. Nah. Just ride out J.J. Jansen. Just ride him out. Because let's keep it real. That was a wasted draft pick. That was a wasted draft pick. We just got to keep it real. That was a wasted draft pick. That Thomas Fletcher draft pick, no, big old waste. Big old waste. And then to wrap up the special teams, the holder, Johnny Hecker, the punter, Johnny Hecker, kickoff, place kicker, Zane Gonzalez. Special teams pretty much set. Nothing to worry about there with special teams. You know, Zane did very well last season. We brought in an all-pro punter, Johnny Hecker. We look like we finally got a good punt return, kickoff return squad. I think we are just, we got J.J. Jansen, our consistent long snapper, who was a Pro Bowler in 2013, I might add. We're good on special teams. We're good on special teams. So, just looking back over this, you know, looking at the offense, defense, special teams, you know, offense, like I said, quarterback, I'm pretty sure it's going to end up leading off with Baker Mayfield. I think the writing is on the wall. Running backs, like I said, I think the main core, the main triple threat should be used evenly between CMC, Foreman, and Hubbard. Wide receivers, I think overall we're fine at wide receivers. I'm just very curious to see who between CJ Saunders, Terrace Marshall Jr., Shi Smith, who can really break out and really add to this core. Because I think Robbie Anderson will bounce back. Rashard Higgins has been having a good training camp. DJ Moore, he's our number one for a reason. He's been consistent. So I really think we're good at running backs. I think we're good at wide receivers for the most part. Like I said, quarterback, barring anything crazy, I think Baker Mayfield will win the job. Offensive line, like I said, that's going to be weird. Oh, I'm sorry, forgot about tight ends. I mean, Tommy Tremble, Ian Thomas. I mean, I felt like it's a given, is a no-brainer. But it'll be interesting to see if a Stephen Sullivan or Colin Thompson can really break out. And like I said, I expect Giovanni Ricci to play mostly fullback. But the offensive line, I mean, I think we at least know for sure Taylor Moton at right tackle, Austin Corbett at right guard. The right side is pretty much set. I really have no doubt that will be our right side of Austin Corbett and Taylor Moton. I think that the right side is set. Aubrey says, most definitely Baker should win the job. Yeah, it's pretty much his to lose. So I definitely agree. The center position and the left side still kind of up in the air. It could be an interesting combination. Because, I mean, we got a battle between Pat Elflein and Bradley Bozeman at center. Iquanu and Brady Christensen trading reps at left tackle and left guard. Michael Jordan getting some reps at left guard with the ones. So the left side's still kind of up in the air as far as who will start. Center position, still up in the air. But overall, I think the offense, as long as the chemistry with the O-line goes well and Baker Mayfield can really make the reads, can deliver the ball, make the plays, honestly, I think it might not look on paper, but I think we definitely will have a better offense this season compared to last season. I think we'll definitely have a better offense. Defense, I feel like there's more concern. And there's a lot of talks in the idea that the defense might have backtracked compared to last season. I mean, part of me regrets not trying to keep Stephon Gilmore, especially when Stephon Gilmore and his family loved it here. Stephon Gilmore's from Rock Hill. So I feel like there's got to be some regret in us not securing Stephon Gilmore. Because, with what I'm hearing about J.C. Horn, with his foot, I hope he'll be good to go. But if not, then that's going to be bad. That's going to be another big setback for J.C. Horn. And that could equal possibly another surgery. And then, and then what? Yeah, Aubrey said agreed. Yep. Yeah. So that's a concern. I understand he's been practicing and been, doing individual workouts, but hopefully J.C. Horn will be all right and it will be good to go. But I'm nervous. I'm nervous about that foot. Paul Mancini, welcome to the stream. Good to see you. Good evening. I believe the starting O-line will be left tackle. Wait a minute. Moten at right tackle. Corbett at right guard. Oh, so you believe F-line will get the starting center. Michael Jordan left guard. Brady Christensen left tackle. Backups Ickey, Bozeman, Mays, and Irving. I don't believe Ickey is quite ready yet to start the opener. Well, there's been a lot of talk about that. Especially with this first release of the depth chart, with him being a backup to Brady Christensen, despite him getting his share of reps. Word on the street, Paul, is Ickey's been doing great with the run blocking, but the pass blocking has been so maybe left guard is better suited for him right now. But at the end of the day, I want the best that's out there. And as I said earlier, I feel like what we all believe or are hopeful for as the starting offensive line is probably not going to match. It's probably not going to match their final call with our expectations. So we just got to be prepared for that. Paul says Browns have Myles Garrett in game 1. You don't want the kids to get beat out of the gate. That is true. Regardless of whether it's him or Brady Christensen, that is true. But at some point, I still think Ickey should get reps there at left tackle, especially with this preseason. But at some point, got to put the big boy pants on because they're in the NFL. Got to put the big boy pants on. Because like I said, I'm pretty sure the rookies themselves aren't off the bat, like, let me sit and learn. Let me sit and learn. Those rookies want to play. I've heard that Icky hasn't taken many reps at left guard, so I don't see him there just yet. According to some of the live updates, he's been back and forth between both. He's been back and forth between both, according to some of the live updates. It's just, I think more so, a lot of the focus has been between like him working with the ones and the twos, but from what I've seen in updates, he's bounced back and forth between both positions, but I think it's been more so between the ones and the twos. Because I mean, you have to remember, he can play both. I mean, he's known to play both, especially in college. I mean, just want to throw that out there. But as long as the best are out there, regardless of what that looks like, I'll be happy. If that equals wins, I will be happy. If as long as it equals wins, will it be kind of a bummer? Sure, it'll be kind of a bummer because, it's like many said, it's hard to really consider not starting somebody that's your first round pick in a spot that the team has been lacking for so long. But like I said, if anything, if Brady Christensen can do and evolve like he did in the spot and the flashes that we saw last season, then hey, don't fix what ain't broken. You know what I mean? Don't fix what ain't broken. And if that ends up being Brady Christensen's spot at left tackle and he excels and does well, don't fix what ain't broken. Yeah, that's one thing I will definitely stand strong for. If a player has earned to keep play to keep his spot, yeah, don't fix what ain't broken. Not many rookies start out of the gate, even first round picks. I believe Icky's still getting games in jumbo packages on short yardage and red zone situations, which is definitely possible. I mean, shoot, they even had him catching a pass, a touchdown pass in the red zone in practice. They even had that once. So hey, you never know what kind of crazy packages and Mr. McAdoo might draw up. But hey, I look forward to just seeing him get some action in the preseason and seeing what he can do. Like I'm definitely because I know I got dance lessons this Saturday, so I'll have it DVR'd and check out later. The sleep monster's on my back. You guys have a good night. Alrighty, you too, Aubrey. Thanks again for stopping by and chatting with us. Good to see you. Rest well, and you have a blessed day tomorrow. But yeah, I think overall, I'm confident that this offense will be an improvement over last season. To be honest, I can't say that I'm so concerned with the offense like I would have been maybe before Baker Mayfield came around. You know what I mean? Paul says most reports have F-line playing better and has picked up the offense and line call more than Bozeman, who has disappointed a little bit. And if we want to be technical, I mean, F-line does have the experience already, being that he has played center with us last season, which he excelled at compared to guard. So, hey, if that's what it comes down to, hey, don't fix what ain't broken. Don't fix what ain't broken. Don't fix what ain't broken. My main concern is defense. Offense, just the offensive line chemistry is the only thing for me. But overall, I think offense will be fine. Defense is my major concern. I think, like I said, we really should consider upgrading on the D line before week 1. Because looking at this D line, I mean, yeah, Brian Burns, yeah, Matt Ioannidis, YGM. Like I said, I still question his health, but it seems like he's okay, I guess. Derek Brown, will Derek Brown eventually break out? And then the depth pieces. I know we got Marquise Haynes Sr., which thankfully he's okay after his injury. Thankfully, no severe damage. Davion Nixon, another one who's kind of had some health issues in the past. Have to see if he can finally overcome that. But yeah, we're kind of lacking at depth. The only other depth pieces that really stand out to me are Marquise Haynes Sr. and Amari Barno. Paul says defensive end, defensive tackle, and middle linebacker is still a question. Yeah, and I definitely feel like those are areas that could be upgraded for. Would love the Panthers to acquire Roquan Smith from the Bears, who has publicly asked for a trade out of Chicago. Two things with that. One, I don't really think we're in a position to really be giving up anything for another trade. I mean, thankfully, we didn't have to give up much for Baker Mayfield, but I really don't know if there's much room that we have to give up for another trade. And secondly, I mean, Roquan Smith, he's a tackling machine. I'll give him that. He's a tackling machine. He's all right, but I wouldn't say he's elite. And honestly, like, let's see. Linebacker. We really should have considered jumping on Anthony Barr when we had the chance, but that didn't happen. So, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like Roquan Smith is mainly a tackling machine. They also have his status on ESPN is listed as out. That's also something that I'm looking at here. But if anything, he's definitely a tackling machine. And not only that, he's on the PUP list. Yeah, is he going to be coming off the PUP list anytime soon? Because he's still on the PUP list. Paul says, I believe Panthers will add 3-4 players after cutdowns at wide receiver, at D line, and at linebacker. I don't. D line, yeah. Linebacker, yeah, I could see that. I mean, do we really need to add wide receiver? Because honestly, with wide receivers, personally, I could see, DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson are a given. Rashard Higgins is a given. But honestly, I could see with them rolling with Terrace Marshall, Shi Smith, CJ Saunders, Brandon Zylstra, Andre Roberts. Bam. Done. I think with that core of wide receivers, I think that's set. I think that sets it. Paul says Roquan Smith is a 3-down linebacker, plays bigger than he is, flies sideline to sideline. He is coming off an injury and is still on the pup, which I think was more about his contract status than injury. Let me see. According to here, he's still going through rehab. Yeah, according to here, he's still going through rehab. Doing rehab exercises on the sideline. Yeah, he's still going through rehab. I don't know. I just don't think, like, if he was available and just ready to play, sure. But I don't know if I'd pull the trigger on that. Paul says Marshall is injured again and has had a quiet camp and shot. Quiet camp? I'm gonna have to disagree with you there. I'm gonna have to disagree with you there. He's been in a battle with Rashard Higgins. Shi Smith. Shi Smith's been getting some reps here and there, and CJ Saunders. CJ Saunders has been working with the ones, and he's been catching everything thrown at him. I'm gonna have to disagree with you on CJ Saunders. He's been getting a lot of reps and catching everything thrown his way. Yeah, I don't know about that, Paul. I don't know about that. He's been catching everything thrown his way. And he's been getting a lot of reps, including reps with the ones. CJ Saunders, that is. If anything with Shi Smith, I'm just, they got him on special teams with the depth chart behind Andre Roberts. So we could, see him more there. But, Shi Smith has had his share of reps. And like I said, Marshall, him and Higgins have been battling for that 3 spot. Let's see. Oh, yeah, defense. But, yeah, D-line, linebackers, still some concern. Because, like I said, the Damian Wilson legal situation, don't know how that's going to go. That could lead to suspension. Could be some concern at cornerback, with the J.C. Horn foot. But I'm optimistic that we'll be fine with the secondary. Especially, I don't think there'll be any issues at safety. I think safety is fine. Cornerbacks, I'm optimistic. But I think as a whole, the defense may have taken a step back compared to last season. I think they've taken a step back compared to last season. And special teams is set. Andre Roberts is sorry about that. With Andre Roberts leading for kickoff and punt return, which I think will definitely have some success there. Johnny Hecker, Zane Gonzalez, JJ Jansen, letting go of Thomas Fletcher. Oh man, the wasted draft pick from 2 seasons ago. Mm. But poor Thomas Fletcher. But like I said, at the same time, AJ Jansen could pretty much play until he's 60. If you ask me, I think he could play until he's 60. So Marshall has a lower calf strain and hasn't practiced since August 4th. His status is still about a week away. He practiced with a red non-contact jersey today, though. He practiced today. He practiced today. According to ESPN, he practiced today. It's just in a red non-contact jersey. But yeah, he practiced today. Let's see. Yeah, according to here, I mean, he's listed as questionable. Ian Thomas is listed as questionable. And CJ Saunders is listed as questionable. Yeah. Not non-contact red jersey. That's what he's in. But he practiced. He did practice. That's a positive. I mean, so JC Horn is day to day. JC Horn is day to day. Okay. So JC Horn is day to day. But still, that foot still some concern with that foot. That foot. But hopefully JC Horn will be fine. I really do. I hope it'll be fine. And going back to what you were saying about the receivers, I mean, Brandon Zylstra, his number could get called a lot. His number hasn't been called as much, but when it's called, he's delivered. And it's one of the reasons why I'm very excited for preseason, because I really want to see what our guys have. But I'm not too concerned with wide receiver, especially compared to offensive line. I'm more zoned in on the offensive line than the receivers, to be honest with you. Somebody will break out. Somebody will definitely break out. Especially that offensive line chemistry gets established and Baker gets plenty of time. Oh, somebody will get open. Paul says next 10 days will determine a lot with the depth chart after preseason game with Washington and then the trip up to New England for the 3-day joint workouts and then the second preseason game next weekend. Facts. This Saturday at 1 is the game against, and that's on the road. It's on the road against the Commanders. Patriots, Bills. These 3 August games. And actually, looking at the schedule, like I said, I'll be having dance lessons this Saturday, so I'll DVR the game and watch it later. And then the Patriots game, I'll actually be in Charlotte for GCW, so I have to DVR that. Should be available to watch the Bills game. So I'll probably watch the Bills game live. But a lot of good notes on Baker Mayfield. It's been impressing Mr. Ben McAdoo. And I think we can, if anything, I think it's fair to say that we can be 90% sure that Baker Mayfield has won the job at starting quarterback. I think he's won the job. I think he's definitely won the job. If not, then I'll be shocked. But I was very surprised to see PJ Walker at the number 2. But then again, PJ Walker's been with this team. I mean, they brought him back. So, I mean, I guess by merit, you'd be the number 2 by merit. Paul says, Baker has looked good the last week. Darnold has played well too, but Baker has been better. Next 10 days will determine who the starter is, which is most likely Baker. Well, not only that, but word is that they're possibly shopping Sam Darnold. They could be shopping Sam Darnold. But like I said, I honestly don't think anybody wants Sam Darnold. I don't think anybody wants him. So, yeah. But you know what? I'm excited, y'all. I'm excited. You know? Oh, and apparently J.C. Horn got in some red zone reps. Uh-oh. Okay. J.C. Horn getting some reps in the red zone. And apparently the offense has been looking good in the red zone, y'all. With these practices, these scrimmages, these drills, apparently they've been looking better in the red zone. Something that we've lacked last season. Hey, something to think about. Christian McCaffrey has been looking good out there. Running in between the tackles, outside, catching passes in the red zone. Christian McCaffrey. I think this is the perfect year for him to have a big comeback. Like I said, that doesn't mean that he's got to get a ginormous number of reps. Like I said, 40, 30, 30. Between him, Foreman, and Hubbard. Just do 40, 30, 30. That's all they got to do, 40, 30, 30. Paul says, Panthers want Sam to look up and play ball these two preseason games to get up some trade value. A couple quarterbacks will get injured these next 2 weeks. Happens every summer. And that's really the only way I could see somebody considering Sam Darnold. But it also makes me wonder would they consider a Jimmy Garoppolo or a Cam Newton before they consider a Sam Darnold? Some may wonder, but that's a fair point. That is a fair point. And it looks like DJ Moore has become Baker Mayfield's new favorite target. He's been getting a lot of passes from Baker to Moore. I don't know. We could see DJ Moore's touchdown count increase this season. Maybe this is the year DJ Moore racks up the TDs. It's very possible. Not to mention, it is good to see that, just a little bit of Sam Darnold highlights. It is good to see Sam Darnold take some shots downfield. He has been taking some shots downfield. So that's good. Sam Darnold did not throw deep much, if hardly any, last season. So, Sam, Sam working that deep ball. He trying to work that deep ball. Paul says there's no reason that DJ can't get 8 to 10 touchdowns in this offense. Facts. And really, when it comes to DJ Moore, Paul, that's really the only thing he's been lacking. He has everything else. His touchdown count is low. I mean, in his 4 seasons, 2, 4, 4, and 4. Like, if we could just get his touchdown count up, then honestly, he can be on par with the Devontae Adams, the Tyreek Hills, the Mike Evans. He can get up there. Like his yak is set. He's going to give you yak. Hands down. Consistently, he's going to give you yak. He's done a good job of taking care of the ball since his rookie year. So, honestly, and last season he's had the most catches in his career, 93 catches. So, I mean, if we can get his touchdown count up, like, he can be to the point where he gets the respect that he really deserves. Paul says, no Panther quarterback threw deep last season. They never had much time to look downfield. Really, the only deep throws that I remember are 2 specifically. Actually, 3. If I remember correctly, Sam Darnold threw deep twice. Cam Newton threw deep once. I think Cam Newton threw deep once I want to say it was in the Washington game, if I remember correctly. Sam Darnold threw deep once in the Jets game, the opener, which was the touchdown to Robbie Anderson. And then the second deep pass was in the Vikings game, where it was that 4th and long, and he threw to Ian Thomas to convert for a first down. Those are the only deep passes that I remember off the top of my head. Paul says that's red zone play calling and better coaching, which McAdoo will scheme where Joe Brady was lost. Facts, and more facts. Yeah, that's the one, Paul. That's the one. Darnold had a 30-40 yarder to Ian Thomas from his own end zone. The Vikings game. The one that we lost in overtime. That was the one. Because Darnold was able to lead that drive to a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to tie, and we were able to get into overtime, but then defense fell apart and we lost in overtime. But yeah, that was the game. That was the game. But yeah, that and the deep ball to Robbie Anderson in the Jets opener are really the only two deep balls I remember Sam Darnold throwing. So there's that. But it's crazy though. Like DJ Moore, 3 straight 1,000-yard receiving seasons and only 4 touchdowns apiece. We got to get that touchdown count up. There's no reason DJ Moore should only have 4 touchdowns in all 3 of his 1,000-yard receiving seasons. I mean, he only had 788 his rookie year and only 2 touchdowns, but still, which he almost got 1,000 yards receiving in his rookie year. But man, that's crazy. Only 4 touchdowns in the 3 of his 1,000 yards receiving seasons. We got to get that touchdown count up. Paul says probably the best pass Darnold ever threw as a pro quarterback was that one to Thomas. Possibly. I don't remember a lot of highlights, or I don't really know many of his highlights from the Jets. I mean, if he had many, but yeah, like you're probably right. You're probably right. Because I sure don't know any highlights from the Jets that really stood out. But, yeah. But I really hope to see some sort of upgrades on that D-line and linebacker spot between now and week 1. That's got to happen. That'll make me feel better about the defense. But we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, so that is their first release depth chart for the Carolina Panthers. It's very interesting. It's very interesting. Now, looking at this first preseason game for this Saturday. I'm not going to really do much of a preview of this game because, I mean, although we'll be looking at reps, I mean, it's still preseason where win and loss, doesn't impact too much. It doesn't really impact the season, but it's a rehearsal. And if anything, a couple of folks I expect to see a lot of. I expect to see a lot of Matt Corral. I expect to see a good mix of the wide receivers past Rashard Higgins. So hopefully you'll see some Shi Smith, maybe Terrace Marshall may be good to play. Just a good mix of everybody. Have a good evening, Jason. Catch up with you soon. Keep pounding. Keep pounding, Paul. Thank you so much for coming through. It's always good to see you. Get you some rest, and you have a blessed day tomorrow. But yeah, if anything, so it's an away game. I'm just ready to see our rookies in action. I don't expect to see a lot of action from the ones, maybe outside of the first quarter. But I just can't wait to see the talent out there on the field. So I'm definitely looking forward to checking folks out. But that will do it for tonight. And like I said, for those that are catching the archive later, let me know what y'all think. Like I said, the shared depth chart is in the description box. Let me know what y'all's thoughts are. Those that check this out later, because really, really curious to know what y'all's thoughts are. And preseason, it's only in a couple of days. It's only in a couple of days. Paul says, kind of interesting story out of Washington this morning as Ron Rivera fired popular D-line coach Sam Mills Jr., who's been with Rivera since their Panthers day. So something happened. Rare to see an assistant coach fired during camp. Ooh. Ouch. Ouch. Riverboat Ron being a savage? What? Well, that's a bummer. Dang. Oh, there's the article right there. After difference of philosophy. Dang. Ouch. Well, hopefully you can bounce back and land a spot ASAP. That's all I can really say about that. Here's hoping. But yeah. First preseason game only a couple of days away. We'll be here before you know it. But anyways, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell while you're at it. Shout outs to everybody that came through in the chat. Shout outs to all the folks that liked the stream. 9 likes tonight. Thank y'all so much. Paul says, how do you have a difference of philosophy when he's been on your staff for 4 to 5 years? That is a good question, Paul. That is a really good question. Yeah. That is a really good question. Now that you mention that, that is a really good question. Sorry about that. That's shoot. If you knew the answer to that, Paul, you deserve $1 million if you know the answer to that. Shoot. I can't be the one that pays it to you, but you deserve it. You deserve it. Oh man, that's crazy. But yeah, y'all have been a wonderful audience. Thank y'all so much for chatting it up with me. Keep pounding, no matter what. Keep pounding. And we're really close to Panthers football returning, y'all. Get hyped. Get hyped. He must have done something off the field that's not out in the public just yet, would be my guess. Yeah. And it could be, maybe that's a cover-up of the real reason, perhaps. Could be. But, maybe there'll be some details that come out later. But we'll see. But anyway, this has been another Carolina Panthers Talk brought to you by Blitzwall Champ Gaming here on the U to the Tube. I'm your host, Jason Ingram. Hope everybody has a blessed day tomorrow. Keep pounding, and I will see y'all in the next video. Stay blessed. Love y'all. Peace out.